Hey guys, it's Emma Vigling with TYT Politics. For everyone that thinks I'm in my bedroom, that's what you call a day bed? Do you even know furniture, pretty please? Beef up on your furniture, like Warren and Booker are going to be beefing up on their foreign policy and on their war hawkishness. Yay, yippee-ki-yo, yay. So don't forget to check out my interview with Mark Ruffalo, my biggest interview. Still on a high after that interview. Very cool. He's an amazing guy. And then don't forget to go check out Jordan. He's going to be going live on Facebook. Another lovely Jordan rant. He's been itching to do those since he's been back from Standing Rock, so definitely go check those out later. So, just a quick report. Warren and Elizabeth Warren and Cory Booker are basically sending smoke signals and fruit baskets to anybody who will pay attention that yes, they're going to run in 2020. So one of them I'm moderately happy about. Elizabeth Warren is awesome on banking and financial issues, not so much on others, and I have an issue with her leadership, which I will talk about later in this story. Cory Booker, I am from New Jersey. If you talk to older Democrats, if you talk to people with money, they seem to really love Cory Booker. But progressives, not so much. Cory Booker and everyone who knows him says that he's a very nice, or everyone that knows Cory Booker says he's a nice guy. He's one of those faux progressives that takes a ton of money from Wall Street, but he pretends to be a man of the people, and he's always there when there's a camera around. So let me just get into the nitty-gritty of this story. Democratic Senators Cory Booker and Elizabeth Warren, two rising stars in the party who are already talked about as presidential contenders in 2020, are taking committee assignments next year that will burnish their foreign policy credentials ahead of a potential national run. Booker will join the Senate Foreign Relations Committee in 2017, giving the New Jersey Democrat a powerful perch on a panel that grapples with weighty matters such as authorizing war and leveling sanctions against foreign governments. The first-time senator will also have a front-row seat. The first-time senator will also have a front-row seat for the confirmation fight over Rex Tillerson, President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Secretary of State. Let me pause. Cory Booker has done nothing of substance in the Senate. Literally nothing. I remember a certain man who Cory Booker is trying to copy, President Obama, also did not do much when he was a first-term senator. But Cory Booker is there when the cameras are there. So if he's going to fight over Rex Tillerson, you're damn right Cory Booker's going to be on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. You're damn right he's going to be there. Because there will be a camera, and he'll be able to fight Trump. And he's this young, idealistic, progressive. Oh, of course a camera's going to be there, and of course Cory Booker's going to be at the front of that fight. Guaranteed right now, we are going to be seeing video after viral video after speech of Cory Booker fighting Rex Tillerson now that he's on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Guaranteed. Write it down in stone and come back to me. Faux progressives who say that Cory Booker is actually a real progressive. Give me a break. You're going to be seeing all of this hoopla and all of these BuzzFeed videos of Cory Booker going after Rex Tillerson. Read it and weep, everybody. Warren will become the newest Democratic member of the Armed Services Committee, adding military credentials to the legislative portfolio heavy on domestic policy. That committee has a high-profile nomination fight as well. Retired General James Mattis, whom Trump will nominate to lead the Pentagon. Not as high-profile of a fight as what Cory Booker is going to be going through, but let's be real. We like Elizabeth Warren, and I loved when she took down the Wells Fargo CEO. But Warren likes her cameras too. Both of these senators are not camera shy. No siree. And the fact that there's these two high-profile fights against Donald Trump, that weighed into their decision. What also weighed into their decision is something I'm going to get into a little bit later. Booker said in the statement that the committee assignment will enable me to keep fighting to strengthen America's national security while serving as a check and balance on the new administration. Of course. Warren noted that 3 of her brothers served in the military, while Massachusetts home to bases, defense companies, and key research hubs that conduct military work. So Elizabeth Warren has repeatedly stated that she doesn't want to run for president. But this is extremely obvious. Like, this is what Hillary Clinton did back when she was a senator from New York. If Elizabeth Warren's solution is to beef up on foreign policy, that's great. If that's the goal of this. But if what the goal of this is for her to become more like Hillary Clinton, God help us all, then there's no hope. What you guys are watching right now is a 22-year-old who used to worship Elizabeth Warren continuing to be disillusioned by her, and by one of my foreign heroes. So that's part of what's going on right now. Elizabeth Warren is a mixed bag on foreign policy. She told President Obama, and she diverted from him, and she said she wanted the troops home from Afghanistan before 2014. So she has been more consistent on foreign policy. She's pro the Iran deal, which I am also pro the Iran deal. But she also said, though, that she would potentially take military action to stop Iranian nukes. So it's a mixed bag. I don't even know if I'm necessarily against that, but we would have to wait and see. So these 2 senators potentially running in 2020. One used to be, in my mind, a beacon of progressivism and a beacon of what the progressive movement could have to offer. Someone who epitomized everything that we needed and was similar to Bernie Sanders in that regard. I do not think of her that way anymore. The lack of leadership that she showed on a variety of issues makes me very nervous for her 2020 run. It's going to happen, folks. If she's against Cory Booker, I don't even think it's a question. She is infinitely better than Cory Booker. Oi, and she'll fight. She'll fight the banks. And the banks would be terrified if she was president. But you can't just be a one-issue candidate. You can't just be someone who is an attack dog when the cameras are on, especially towards big banks, towards financial institutions, and neglect people in North Dakota and shrink away in the fight with Bernie Sanders in the primary. That doesn't show leadership. That shows leading from behind, and that shows the same kind of weakness that has plagued us for so many years under President Obama and has bugged us progressives so much. And President Obama was more forceful when he was in the spotlight in 2007. He was more willing to, I think, take some risks. So what does that say about Elizabeth Warren here? Yes, she does take risks with financial institutions, but she knows she has no friends there. So now that she has that safe space of being a progressive who's not going to make friends with the CEOs and the bankers in financial institutions, she doesn't take risks anywhere else because she's safe in that regard. But I also want to read something really quickly from a Salon article where they talk about Cory Booker. I know I'm kind of going a little bit all over the place, but this was before Cory Booker was elected to the Senate. And they talk about who Cory Booker would be as a senator, and it was dead on, right? This is from Alex Perrine of Salon. Great article. He will, in short, be the worst kind of senator. The kind that has no power and no real desire to exercise power on behalf of the people the senator ostensibly represents, but the kind that always expresses opinions on television and whatever national issues people on television care about that day. He will be on Morning Joe and Meet the Press constantly. He has even already said that he might consider Rand Paul and Ted Cruz as models for how a freshman senator might make big marks. Not big marks in any sense of any sort of lasting legislative legacy, because Ted Cruz does not care about legislation or policy, but big marks in terms of media attention and stunts designed to appeal to a core of supporters who prefer their senators brash and loud. Another one of those senators will not help anything. Genius. This guy, Alex Perrine of Salon, telegraphed it. Nail on the head. That's who Cory Booker is. And I see a little bit of Elizabeth Warren in that. Elizabeth Warren does like to make hay and does like to be in the public eye. But she has tangible tangible policy results. She got the CFPB through. She was a major, major vocal proponent of reinstating Glass-Steagall, which she did through legislation. It failed, obviously. Elizabeth Warren has tangible results, but when you take her outside of that niche, she falters. And I worry that that's going to happen with her when she takes leadership positions and when she's on committees when she's on the Armed Services Committee. Lastly, her being on the Armed Services Committee obviously echoes Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Warren, we know from the WikiLeaks, had been in communication since 2014, and even before that, they saw her as the benchmark for progressivism and how they had to appeal to Elizabeth Warren. Podesta and Hillary Clinton's team were constantly worried about what Elizabeth Warren was going to say, what Elizabeth Warren was thinking. So they're actually on very good terms, and that worries me because it makes me think that Elizabeth Warren thinks the way Hillary Clinton went about things isn't completely off the rails. She was able to work with her, essentially. If Elizabeth Warren gets on when she gets on the Armed Services Committee, I worry that she's going to become more hawkish, like Hillary Clinton did back in 2000. If you recall, Hillary Clinton was more progressive as a first lady. But then she started liking war a little bit more. Then she changed on the bankruptcy bill once she had to suck up to people in New York for donors and stuff like that. Once Elizabeth Warren steeps herself more in the establishment, I fear that she's going to only fall back into exactly what happened to Hillary Clinton. They're not the same person. I don't want anyone to think that that's what I'm saying. But could we see that similar digression? Absolutely. All right, guys, have a great weekend.